Magic isn't about illusions, it's about believing in something bigger than your limits, and Dynamo turned that belief into moments that made the whole world hold its breath. Stephen Frayne, born in Bradford, England, didn't have a cushy childhood. He faced struggles, sickness, and silence, but through it all, he held on to an unbreakable dream. He suffered from Crohn's disease since childhood, a painful and exhausting illness, often leaving him weak, isolated, and unsure of his place in the world. Most kids that age wanted to be footballers or rappers. Dynamo just wanted to stop feeling invisible. And for someone to see the magic in him, even if he had to create it himself. His grandfather showed him his first magic trick, not realizing he was handing him a tool that would help him reshape pain into power and fear into fascination. When the other kids bullied him and called him names, he didn't retaliate, he retreated into his world of cards, illusions, and the belief that he could become something more. Magic became his shield and his sword. It gave him control in a life that constantly felt unstable, and it gave him a voice when he had no strength left to speak. He didn't have fancy tools or a stage, he had his hands, his heart, and hours of lonely practice sessions in his room, chasing perfection with nothing but grit. He began performing for people on the streets, not for money, but for reactions, for connection, and for proof that his dream could be more than just a coping mechanism. Every day after school, he hit the streets of Bradford with a deck of cards in his hand, ready to turn doubt into wonder and silence into applause. People laughed at first. They called it a hobby, a phase, a distraction, but Dynamo didn't flinch. He made rejection the fuel for his performance. He wasn't born into magic, he built himself into it. Every trick you've ever seen him perform was stacked on top of years of private failure and brutal self-discipline. He combined street culture with classic sleight of hand, wearing hoodies instead of tuxedos, making magic feel raw, real, and relevant again for a new generation. He didn't try to copy David Blaine or David Copperfield, he became something the world hadn't seen, the magician from the ends who brought wonder to concrete. Then, in 2011, he walked on the River Thames. People didn't just see a magician, they saw possibility come alive, feet on water, head in the sky. That moment wasn't about the trick, it was about the story, about a kid with Crohn's disease defying physics, critics, and every voice that ever told him you can't. People everywhere watched Ina, not just because it looked unreal, but because they saw his pain turn into purpose, his struggle turn into spectacle. He filmed Magician Impossible while fighting flare-ups from his illness, but never let the camera catch his pain. He wanted people to see the magic, not the misery. That's true power, not just creating illusions, but carrying real battles behind the curtain and still showing up like a warrior every single day. His tricks went viral, not just for how they looked, but for what they symbolized: overcoming, breaking limits, making people believe again. He levitated in front of Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, not just for spectacle, but to prove that faith, magic, and determination can lift you to sacred places. His rise wasn't handed to him, it was carved out of pain, rejection, and relentless self-belief. That's not magic, that's mission. Dynamo's legacy isn't about shocking the world, it's about quietly, obsessively preparing to amaze, day after day, even when no one's watching. People think magic is an escape, but for him it was a return to power, a daily choice to face reality with wonder instead of surrender. When most would have folded under pressure, he learned how to stack the deck through perseverance, patience, and endless practice, and even with international fame, he stayed grounded, humble, still walking the streets, still performing for strangers, never forgetting where he came from. One time, a sick child in a hospital told Dynamo he watched his shows to escape the pain. That moment mattered more than any trick ever could. That's the real magic, to take someone from despair to belief, if only for a minute, and remind them there's still a left in the world. You don't need to wear a cape to be powerful, you need to persist through the pain, like Dynamo did every time he picked up those cards. He wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the loudest, but he was relentless, and that made him impossible to ignore. He learned that you don't need a stage when your presence commands attention, and you don't need applause to know you've arrived. You might be going through your own version of Crohn's, your pain, your silence, your doubt, but you can still find your magic in the middle of the chaos. Success doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers to those who show up daily, even when the world doesn't notice. You don't need fans right now. You need focus. Obsess over your craft. Get so good they can't pretend not to see you. Dynamo didn't wait for someone to discover him. He made discovery impossible to avoid. He turned every street corner into a stage, every stranger into a witness, every painful day into a step forward. Your story doesn't have to begin in comfort. In fact, the most powerful stories usually start in the dark. You might be broken, or bullied, but you're also building something they can't see yet. Your job isn't to convince people to believe in you, it's to become undeniable through consistent, disciplined action. Dynamo didn't go viral by chasing trends, he became a trend through originality, humility, and daily mastery. Your path might look impossible now, but all paths do until you walk them into reality. You have something inside you stronger than doubt, drive. And if you listen to it long enough, it'll drown out every "you're not enough." If a sick kid from a council estate can levitate above skyscrapers, you can rise from your own rubble and become something breathtaking. He turned his wounds into wonder. You can turn your setbacks into setups for something greater. Every time he picked up a deck, he wasn't playing games, he was crafting destiny. While others were resting, he was refining. While others gave up, he kept going. That's how legends are born. You don't need to be loud to change the world. You just need to be consistent, committed, and completely unwilling to quit. Greatness doesn't start with applause, it starts with silent, lonely reps behind closed doors. Be obsessed with your growth, make your practice louder than your pain. Dynamo taught us that belief can move more than audiences, it can move mountains inside you. The question isn't, can I do it? It's, am I willing to work through everything until I do? Your pain isn't a stop sign, it's a signal that you're alive and capable of change. There's magic in the grind, in the 10,000 hours, in showing up when no one claps. Every trick you've seen took 1,000 failures behind it. He didn't quit on the 999th. When critics laughed, he leveled up. When the world doubted, he doubled down. You don't get there by wishing, you get there by working until wishing is no longer needed. Dynamo didn't just flip cards, he flipped expectations. He walked into rooms where no one believed in him and made belief the only thing they could see. The best revenge is turning your struggle into strength and your pain into performance. Don't wait for inspiration. Chase it, create it, demand it from yourself. Remember, every great magician starts with 0 followers and 1 fan themselves. There is no overnight success. There is only overtime success. Greatness is inconvenient, uncomfortable, but it's always worth it. If they laugh at your dream, laugh later from the top. Never beg to be understood. Be so good they're forced to study you. If Dynamo could rewrite his destiny, so can you. Your moment won't arrive. You have to create it, earn it, and be ready when it comes. Dream big, work bigger. Let your hustle be your spell. Your future self is watching, don't let them down. Do the hard thing now, live the dream later. Remember, today's silence is tomorrow's standing ovation. You're not too late. The world is just getting ready for you. If the odds are against you, good. That means your story will be legendary. You were not born to blend in. You were born to bend reality. Your struggle might be the beginning of your signature move. Be known for your consistency, not your convenience. Magic isn't outside of you, it's inside, waiting. The impossible is only impossible until someone does it. Every doubt is an opportunity, every no is a future. Watch this. Fall in love with the work, not the results. Become your own biggest believer. Get addicted to progress. Train in silence, amaze in public. No one saw Dynamo coming. Soon they won't see you coming either. Turn rejection into redirection. When others sleep, practice. When others doubt, act. Nothing beats a person who simply won't stop. Don't chase applause, chase mastery. Your effort will echo beyond your years. You're not small, you're focused. Be the miracle they never expected. Let pain be your push. Rise from your rubble. Be the story people retell when things look impossible. Magic exists because people like you believe it can. And if this message lit a spark in you, fan that flame. Don't let it die. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're ready to write your own legend, because your rise is just beginning.